You're listening to Achtung Millwall, broadcasting from the beautiful South Birmingham. Accept no substitute.
Hello dear listeners, welcome to this edition of Achtung Millwall, number one Millwall podcast. This show was recorded as a live Twitter space, which is an interesting medium, gives you a kind of phone-in, recorded in the immediate aftermath of today's highly disappointing, at times shambolic 1-0 loss up there at Hull City. So yeah, this was recorded live and raw in the immediate aftermath of today's game. The edition that you're going to hear is an edited podcast version of the live conversation. That was quite raw at times. I've tried to edit it so that it has some kind of coherence for you to listen to afterwards. I just want to say a huge thank you to all the chaps who took part in today's edition. In addition to myself, Nick Hart, we've had Stephen, Neil Fissler, who suggested doing the show. Big thank you to Neil, Harry, came on the show, Jim, David and Thomas. So a big thank you to all the boys who took part. So now we're going to take you over to the conversation, Twitter Spaces live.
Achtung, Millwall.
Jim, can you hear me? Are you hearing me? Jim,
can you hear me now, mate? Nick?
I can, Jim. Yeah, thanks for coming on, mate. I was just saying in the lead into this, mate. This feels a bit like the wheels are rapidly coming off our season. I'm reminded of Leonardo DiCaprio in Titanic when he sinks in the water at the end. She's still talking to him, but he's dead. You know, it feels a bit like that, mate. How do you see it?
I feel the same thing. I feel like there's a fat lady just waiting in the wings, to be honest with you. We just got out of the car park there, Nick. We were there today. And
oh, you went? Oh, mate.
Someone said there was 23 shots from us. We didn't score a goal. And that's the problem, Nick, isn't it? We just can't score.
We can't score. I don't know what to make of it, Jim. I mean, it's a strange game. Anyone that didn't see it won't appreciate how average we were to start off with. And, you know, for the first part of the first half, I thought we looked adrift. We then really took a grip on the game, and we were looking really good by the close of the first half. I don't know how you saw it at the ground, but we were looking really fluent in attack, and we were very unlucky not to score. In truth, the one that sticks out in my mind is, is Burke hitting the crossbar, but we didn't press on, Jim, in the second half, and that just says to me that we're not good enough, mate, in the end.
No, I think a few of us were saying in the ground when we got to January and we didn't buy a striker, then I think we all knew we were going to struggle. We're relying on Bradshaw really and Fleming to get the goals because they were getting them in the first half of the season, and the second half of the season it's like who's going to score them goals in them tight games, and none of us can see who's going to do it because they get to the edge of the box and they shoot and they either go wide, go over the bar, or it's a soft shot to the keeper. It's just there's no clinical finishing.
No.
And funny enough, as I said before the game, Nick, we often get in the ground about sort of half an hour at these away games. So you see the guys sort of shoot in practice, you know, and you could tell we're not very good. We're not very good at shooting. You know, it's like
it's a fundamental.
Going over the bar, and it's like, you know. So if it was me during the week, because a lot of our game is so good defensively, we're pretty strong. You know, we break the play up in midfield. We do so many things right that when we get in that final third, it just all falls down. And I think also as well today, just seeing the ball never just quite dropped. It was bouncing a little bit, and we just never quite had that clear-cut chance. Do you know what I mean? But even so, they're almost in holiday mode. Hull are. You know, they had a couple of decent players, but that was it. And they're almost thinking about Greece and Ibiza. They're there for the taking, and we do it every year. Well, not every year, but the last 2 or 3 years, we get to this stage, and then we just lose these games against these tin pot clubs that we should just be beating them.
We certainly didn't show enough hunger. I don't know if I got Harry. Harry, are you on the line, mate? Can you hear me? Did you see the game? What did you make of it this afternoon? This is therapy, mate. Come on.
This is therapy. Look, to be where we are, let me put this out here, it is an achievement. To be where we are, we've been in the top 6 for most of the season, if not all of it.
Yeah.
But we are doing the most Millwall of Millwall acts at the moment of fucking it up right at the end. I mean, the I agree. I agree with Jim because and to a point, but for me, it comes down to the wide men. We've got no fucking left hand side at all, in terms of attacking creativity. And when teams work us out, it becomes easier to shut us out. And over the last 4 or 5 games, that has become apparent.
Yeah.
I don't rate Oliver Burke. I know he's hit the crossbar today. I just think he's a shit football player. I have no idea. He basically he's so much of a passenger for me that it means that all his good work is undone by all the shit that he doesn't do. He exposes Danny McNamara defensively because he doesn't do any defensive work, and we're just grinding towards the end of the season, sort of playing the same. We're sort of mono, and everyone else is starting to play in stereo.
Well, we look like a mid-table side that's batting our season out. To me, we didn't look hungry. Don't know what you think, Jim, but I mean, we didn't look hungry for it at the start of the second half. We've closed the first half very, very well. We've hit the crossbar. We've had numerous chances, one way and the other, from fairly tight angles, but they're opportunities nevertheless. And I thought we'd be coming out of the second half, like greyhounds out the starting traps. But we just looked like we're half asleep in the second half. And we let Hull, average side, into the game.
We did. And even towards the end, the last 10, 15 minutes, it was like we were winning 1-0. They kept passing it back to Long. And this oof ball that Long does, I obviously we were at the other end of the goal, Nick, so I don't know whether he was at fault for that goal today. It was difficult to see, but a few people were saying he could have got down quick. I don't know. Don't know if you got.
Don't know. I watched it on screen. I think that's harsh because where I would place the fault, I don't know what you think, Harry, was the amount of space and time we gave the whole forward. Was it Traore? He had time, space to pick his spot.
I think it's a good. I think it's a good finish. Like I'll give you a good finish, but I agree with the Long thing because even though, like, take it back to Good Friday just for a minute. It's like when Long kicks the ball long, right? It's always too long. I don't understand when he will ever kick the ball in a way that allows us to do anything off the back of it. It's either straight down the goalkeeper's throat and it goes into the opponent's goalkeeper, or it seemingly goes too long for a goal kick. And it's really difficult to make a case for playing that tactic if it's not working. It's just giving the opposition a free reset all the time. But it's worked, and it's why he's in the side, and that's why it worked for a period of time. It might be time to maybe try Plan C for the season. I mean, we started with A with a 5 at the back, we went to a B of a 4 at the back, and Fleming and Bradshaw scored the goals, and now we need something else because we've been worked out, I think, a little bit, and it's showing in the results.
I've got to say, Harry, I don't know about you boys, but Fleming the last few games, if he weren't Ian Fleming, there'd be people sort of saying, should he be in our team at this moment in time? Because his choice of pass today was really quite poor, and he just wants so long. He gets the ball, and it's like he wants 5 seconds before he makes a decision what he's going to do with it, and you don't get that in the Championship. And it's a bit like when he first joined us, I thought he was doing the same thing. Then he seemed to speed up a bit, but he just seems to have gone a bit slow again. And
I think he's knackered.
Got the players.
I think he's knackered. Yeah, I think the schedule compared to the Dutch schedule's a lot worse. I think this week, now that we've got till Preston on Saturday, will do us a world of good. Not being funny in any way, shape or form, but it will. I think, try and take the Millwall emotion out of it. If you look at the league table, it's fine. There's 5 games to go for us, 6 games for other teams. We can only win our games. There are a number of winnable games there if you look at them on paper, but the way we're playing at the moment, that's bollocks because we're not in form in any way, shape or form. But would I back against us to beat Preston at the Den on Saturday? No, I wouldn't. But I don't know what Millwall are going to turn up at the minute, and I think that's the same for everyone.
We're joined, I think, I'm hoping, by Neil Fischler. Neil, are you out there, mate? Are you on the call?
I am, unfortunately.
Welcome to the show, Fizz. Listeners who need to know, I messaged Fizz after the full-time whistle, and I said, I don't know if I can be asked for this, Neil. And then he said he wanted to say some things. So how could I resist
some things
the
and
chance
some stuff.
some things. So, welcome to the show, Neil Fischler, mate. What did you make of that performance today?
Yeah, but let's get a few things straight and that say a few things, yeah? If we get into the Premier League, the serious fraud squad needs to investigate because we will be guilty of misrepresentation by fraud. Yeah? We haven't
Okay.
scored a goal in 4 games. Coming back and not signing a striker in January is going to come back and bite us in the arse. There were people openly delighted that the Nisbet deal fell through. They're looking fucking idiots now because we haven't scored for the last 4 games. The one thing we needed to do in January was to push the boat out slightly, overpay for what we needed, and that is a striker, and we would be comfortably in.
How many years have you followed Millwall, Neil Fischler?
Too many.
Mate, yeah, do you know what? Yeah, well, I made a note of this because I wanted to remember it.
Yeah.
This has all the hallmarks and it smells of 2002 all over again. When we signed Dion Dublin, but we needed 1 or 2 other players just to actually push us over the line. And this year is exactly the same as that. The one thing we needed in January was a striker. We couldn't rely on Tom Bradshaw to get
We
us
put all
promoted.
of our eggs in the Nisbet basket, didn't we? I
Yeah.
mean, that by pursuing him at all with no other plan, I mean,
Yeah.
it seemed to be, I would have hoped we've had somebody else in
It
mind. We
was
didn't.
everything. It was everything on him. I'm going to question. I'm going to put something out there. Yeah. This will be deeply unpopular and slightly controversial.
Well, we've got a lawyer on the line now. I see lawyer Lion David is on the line.
Good.
So
The libel
phrase,
presser, yeah, it's fine.
phrase your question carefully.
Very
Neil.
carefully, Neil.
Right. Does the club want to win promotion to the Premier League? Or do they think by getting up there, it would be too much hassle? Yeah?
Well, I mean, the 80 million quid that they'll fucking pocket might mean that they're quite happy.
But we needed to do one thing in January. So is it a case of we show willing? Well, we put a bid out there, the deal falls through. Oh, okay, at least we tried the familiar Millwall story. Or do we actually do something about it? The Premier League is within touching distance, but do we want it?
Yeah.
Do we think that going up there will bring a whole load of problems every other week?
It's every other week. I think it's every week.
Let's consult our lawyer, David. Are you?
I am on the line.
And what did you make of that performance this afternoon, mate?
I feel a bit of a fraud coming on because I didn't actually see it, which in retrospect
lawyer specialising in
probably a very clever move on my part.
It was a clever mate.
I want to say a couple of things. First of all, I entirely agree about the striker in January. But in fairness to the club, and I'm not always fair to the club, you can't just go and spend 2 or 3 million quid on any old. We were looking around, I think, for the right striker. We were linked with Dykes for £3 million or something. The reality is, I don't think they put all their eggs in the Nisbet basket in the sense they didn't have other targets. The only problem was that they couldn't get anybody of equivalent status for the money that we were able to spend. I'm not defending the club in that sense, but I think we've got to be realistic.
We are being realistic.
Well, who would you?
We are being
who would you have gone?
Olgo does not switch on Football Manager.
Yeah, but who would you go for?
On December the 31st, and think, I tell you what, I better have a look at some players here.
Yeah, but
they have got a list of players.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah, they've got a list of players. They should have overpaid for somebody, even slightly. Yeah, because you have 3 million quid. 3 million quid against 150 million quid. It's a no-brainer in business terms, isn't it?
This is the Leeds Peter Risdale scenario for the Champions League.
No, it's not.
Well, it is, because if you get that wrong,
because if you sign the right player,
I believe I'm agreeing with Harry.
But it doesn't work. You can get your money back from that player.
It's a risk, though, Neil, isn't it? I mean,
risk-reward, isn't it? We've got no concept of risk-reward.
There's a balance to be struck because we've all, before the game today, I'm posting pontificating on poor old Scunthorpe's going out of the National League International North, and that's the consequence. We've seen others, Southend, not that they were ever big time, but we've seen clubs, Bolton, I suppose, Portsmouth, who have gone the distance and then crashed and burned. We don't want to do that, do we? That's the balance. I take the point about having other players that we should have gone for, but
there was a strong rumour that we were definitely interested in Jacob Brown, who the Stoke player, who I think would have been really good for us. Stoke made him available and then decided at the last minute to pull him. So it's that kind of thing that we don't always get to hear about, and I think that's the problem with these things. You think the club have got the targets, and they probably have, but because we don't really know what's going on behind the scenes, we only look at the result, and the result is we put all our eggs in the Nisbet basket. It fails, and then we're all sitting in April saying, why didn't we sign a striker? I think there's a lot I think that is obvious that we should have done, but I think it's a little bit more complicated than that. That's all I would say. And I'm not suggesting that the club can't be criticised. Of course they can, and the proof of the pudding is that other clubs do go and sign players, but I think it's a little bit more nuanced than just, saying, oh, here's, 3 million, 4 million, 5 million quid, just go out and buy a striker.
If we don't get into the playoffs this season has still been better than the previous two, because we've been up there for a longer period of time and looked like we were going to get to the playoffs, whereas every other year it's looked kind of, by now, we definitely ain't getting into the playoffs with 6 games to go unless we win 6 on the bounce. We are getting better as a club. I don't like praising Gary Rowett, but I will. That we are
can somebody take a note of the time and the date?
I'm recording this conversation. I'm going to try and edit it into a podcast.
That this season has been better because we have been in the top 6. You can't argue with the results. Some of the football has
we'll frame those words and put them on a T-shirt, or put a T-shirt, a Harry charity T-shirt. Have we got Stephen Colemill? Stephen, are you tuned in, mate? Are you listening? I've got you on the speaker list.
I'm tuned in, not mentally. I'm just tuned into this.
Did you see the game? Did you want to say anything about the performance today, mate?
I saw the game. Yeah, you know what? I was on a few weeks ago,
yeah.
And I agree with the speaker a couple of speakers ago. And I'm going to make the point again. We got rid of 4 centre forwards. I know John Daddy was no good, but there was a time when actually Gary Rowett, who I like, was picking him before Bradshaw. We then got rid of Mike Smith. We didn't give him Isaac Alofe, or whatever his name is, a chance.
Yeah.
And Bennett went. Now, I don't think they all got up on a Monday morning, the 4 of them, and said, we're leaving.
I think Bennett did.
Bennett might have done.
Strong ties.
Let me just make my point.
Dubai is a much better climate than New Bergen.
No, let me just make my point. I agree with you. Dubai is a slightly a better climate.
It's a better lifestyle. Yeah.
So I think there was a lack of planning. I agree with the other guy. I think they put a lot of effort into getting Nisbet, and they didn't get them. But I'm not great on social media.
Yeah.
But there was a big talk about maybe getting Jordan Hugill on loan. And I was seeing Millwall fans. He got 2 for Rotherham, I think, on Saturday. Was it Rotherham?
Yeah. West Brom.
So what I'm saying is, I do believe there were people out there. And I think for us to be completely dependent on Tom Bradshaw, I mean, it's not his fault. He's probably had the best seasons he's been in the club. But when you think of it, he's on the pitch and he knows there's not another centre forward that's going to come on. There's no doubt about it. If we miss out, it's because we haven't bought another striker.
I think Neil's question, and I think we're probably all kind of dancing around the same point in a way, Stephen. But Neil's question is a good one. Does the club want to go up fundamentally?
Yes.
I wonder whether we're really geared up for it. I mean, and I think
the club do want to go up. They're doing a massive, they're involved in a development. I do think they want to go up. I haven't looked at the books, but apparently Beryl's put, 40, 50, 60 million quid in. You've got to be some kind of fucking idiot to invest that kind of money.
And the rest, I think, Steve. But
probably. But why would you invest it? He's an American. He's taken a liking, thank God for all of us, to Millwall, because he's been our saviour. So I actually think he is ambitious. But I also think he's reasonably conservative. I think he's doing what he can afford. He's not doing a Peter Ridsdale that somebody just said. And I think he's definitely ambitious. And just
It's
to say
very,
another
very
thing,
limited ambition. It's very
it's-
limited
But
ambition.
that's the main.
So he can pick off. So he can
He's-
pick off the ground around the ground and make a killing on the development side. Yeah, I'm not saying that we go out and we spend silly amounts of money, but you go out and you do what. Yeah, we go out and do what we've done with Fleming. We've bought him for what? 1.75 million, but the
1.8 or so.
resale value will be a lot more than that. That's what
Should
we
be,
should have
shouldn't
done
it?
with a
Yeah.
striker.
Neil, I agree with that, but even Man United, even Manchester City, even Liverpool, Arsenal, say all these big clubs, they don't do their business in January because you end up like Chelsea. You end up getting rinsed for a load of money and not necessarily getting value for it. I understand this season might have been the time for Millwall to actually break the habit of a lifetime and, go for it. But that looks really silly if we still had signed a striker and we were still in the position that we are now, because it just would have done. But that is the risk reward factor that you're speaking about.
I mean,
But if we'd have been having this chat 8 months ago, and we said 8 months ago, Millwall will be fifth. It's still in their own hands.
Yeah.
8 months ago, there's not one of us on this podcast that wouldn't have said, "I'll take that now."
No, there isn't.
Achtung, Millwall.
Also, just to say, chaps, I'm going to bring in Thomas at the moment. Thomas, if you're out there, I'm going to bring you in a second, mate. I just wanted to make the point that the season is not over. We're not talking about a post-mortem here, boys, are we? I mean, we are still fifth by hook or by crook, and we are Millwall, and it's never going to be straightforward. Also today, and I don't know how many of the collective saw the game. I know Neil and I saw it. I don't know how it. So what I would say is that we were a very Millwall combination of genuinely unlucky at times, genuinely incompetent at times, and generally full of sound and fury. It's way too late when it wasn't really, we were up against it. Yeah. So it's that curious, very Millwall mix of everything you can think of, all in one kind of cocktail. But we were unlucky at times. Thomas, are you listening, mate? Did you want to say anything to the show, mate? Thanks for coming on, by the way.
Cheers. Everybody going on about striker and everything else.
Yeah.
How much now would we pay for Morrison and Gregory if they were a couple of years ago?
Well, we'd have to pay Morrison's pension, wouldn't we?
Yeah. A couple of years ago, 30, 40 goals a season between the pair of them. How much would we pay for that right now?
I think we probably took them for granted a little bit, Thomas, at the time. Yeah. I know I did, if I'm going to be honest.
I did.
I mean, I think it's interesting. I mean, we were talking, Neil and I were talking about on a separate matter entirely about Millwall legends and good players and all this kind of stuff. It's one of these debates you see circulating. And I was doing a list, and I think at the time you don't appreciate what you've got. And I would put my hand up to say that I didn't appreciate probably Lee Gregory and Steve Morrison at the time to the level that they were in terms of overall club contribution, but they're gone now. They're in the past.
They were 30, 40 goals a season.
Yeah, and very hard to replace that. I think
both seasons, both League One seasons.
Yeah, they did.
I'd also include dear old Matt Smith into that as well, because I know his legs were going, but he could give him the right service.
You would have fancied him today to come on, and
he might have done. That's right. In that last 15 minutes there, I agree with that. I mean, I would say that we are not out of it yet. We are looking very much like a boxer that's taken a few shots and they're on their feet, but the lights aren't on at the moment. I think there's a sense of that, but there's still 5 games to go. Preston are now equal on 62. I'm just looking at the league table. Blackburn. Yeah, so that's a point in effect there, isn't it? And Norwich are struggling. So we've got to regroup from this because
we also have basically a glorified playoff game on the last day of the season.
Yeah, with Blackburn.
Yeah.
Just for your reference, Preston have got to play Blackburn. They've got to play Sheffield United, and they've got to play Sunderland. There's going to be a few more twists and turns. It's not, we could end up maybe winning 2 or 3 of those games, which we do need to win, and we might still be all right. There's lots of people that are matched up against each other. Luton have got 2 or 3 tough games. They can't all get 3 points.
No, that's true. But we don't look like we could score in a fucking brothel in Amsterdam at the moment. We're on Flemish. Hell of anything else.
And what's the address of the brothel in Enfield?
They don't want us in brothels in Amsterdam
We need a
anymore.
6-yard poacher. That's what we need, a 6-yard poacher.
I thought Vogelshammer, he gets his criticisms, and he came in late today for Bradshaw. Very unlucky. He had a really good shot on goal. Their goalkeeper, boys, I mean, apparently he's an on-loan goalkeeper from Newcastle. And
Carl Darlow, used to play for Nottingham Forest, didn't he? Very, very, very good goalkeeper. Probably actually one of the best in the division.
Yeah,
I can believe it. I mean, he basically kept them in it today because
man of the match they gave him.
I can believe that. Because we peppered their goal with shots, and you can talk about the time and space we gave for their goal, but equally we did create chances. We just couldn't beat the goalkeeper. But what I think there was an earlier point, I can't remember who made it, about loans, and we don't seem to. I suppose we've got Cresswell on loan, who's injured now and out of it. Shackleton don't seem to appear very often anymore.
Where was Ryan Leonard today? Does anyone know?
He's injured. He's
groin against Luton big time.
And I think
big time. So he's done again.
I think
he's done again. I think. Yeah.
It's now Millwall canon that you can't have Mitchell, Saville, and Leonard all fit at the same time. One of them must be injured or suspended at all times.
Would
anybody sign Cresswell full time?
I mean, we won't afford it. There's no way.
If we could afford him, I would. But I don't see. I think he's proven his worth.
I think he ends up being Leeds captain in the Championship next season, doesn't he? Is that?
I think he can aim higher than that. He's England level.
So I think he'll go back to Leeds come what may. I don't think he's going to be going anywhere. He's done well this second half of the season, and I'm sure Leeds will take him back, whether they're in the Premier League or the Championship.
Now, I've managed to invite so many speakers onto this call. This is why I never made it in working life, lads. I'm terrible chairing meetings. I'm going to go round the callers just to see if I'm missing anyone and if anyone wants to say anything specific. So, Neil and Harry, I'm going to come back to you, boys. Stephen, did you want to add anything to what you've said to the show already, mate? Was there any other points you wanted to make?
No, just everyone keep their fingers crossed.
We'll
make it.
Keeping everything crossed. Are you still optimistic? You're still optimistic?
Yeah, it's in our hands. Yeah, I am.
The most terrifying words in Millwall history. It's in our hands.
I've been supporting them for 60 years. I've had some fucking misery, I promise you. More than most.
That's more than me. That's more than me. Jim, anything else to add, mate, to what you've said already?
Just that I think Barrett's got a decision to make, and that is: does he go for it? Does he really go for it, or does he carry on starting these games? Like you said, Nick, first 20 minutes today was poor, and then we grew into it. We've got to start the games how we're almost sort of finishing each half, and if we do that, then I'm sure the goals can come again, and we can get in that heaven of the top six. But I don't know if he's the manager to do it, Nick. He's always on that negative side, isn't he?
I just want to raise the Romain Esse question, because when he comes into the game, you can see this boy is a level above every other player on that pitch. Some of the control, some of the moves, it's top drawer, absolute top drawer. Now, there's always a debate as to when you start youngsters and the level and all the rest of it. But I'm struggling, chaps, and I'd be interested to hear what everyone thinks as to what Romain Esse's got to do to get in front of some of these other more mundane journeyman players, because there were moments when he did get the ball. There was one drag back he did on the right side towards, obviously, at the end. And he's the kind of player that lifts you out of your seat. That's what you go to watch football for. And I don't get what Gary Rowett is trying to do with him, because he got longer today. But I would expect him to start. I mean, but whether he will do, I doubt somehow. What did we make of Romain Esse? Would you play a match? Would you start him?
I see the point in even if we take out the situation of the season, what is the point of playing a bloke that's on 25 grand a week that you can never afford, wages wise? What's the point in playing him in front of your...
This is Burke we're talking about.
What's the point in playing him in front of your own product that is yours, that will be looked at in the summer just on his pure talent by Premier League scouts? Because the thing that he's got close, quick control at his feet, he glides past players, he's tricky, he's the modern style of football player, and he will be desired by most bottom half Premier League clubs with bigger budgets than us that can come and get him. So why would you not try and get that kid into your first team and build a bit of loyalty around him that he'd want to stay and go on and start his career playing regularly and learning his trade? What we're doing is basically doing exactly the same what we've done with the last 2 or 3 youngsters that are highly touted at Millwall, which is basically talk about them a lot, play them maybe 10, 15 minutes for about 5 games, and then they fuck off on a free transfer to somebody else under the elite player performance plan, and we get about 250 grand. And it's not good enough if you're trying to build in the Millwall model of we can't out.
It was painful watching Crystal Palace yesterday. Who were they playing? Was it Leeds they played?
Esse was good, wasn't it?
Esse, and that hurt every time you hear his name because he was one of ours and we let him go. And
Super Neil said he wasn't a Millwall type player.
No, he wasn't. He was far too good for us. That's the fucking
exactly.
but I can see someone like Crystal Palace, or if West Ham survive, they're going to come in and come take Ronaldo because he's got the quality. And I agree that if we don't play him now when we need wins, we haven't scored. How many? Is it 4 games now?
Yeah. And the one before that,
4 games.
Before that was a penalty.
Yeah, so we know we're not creating, but whether Rowett's got that kind of mindset, I don't know.
Good question.
Yeah.
With the elephant in the room, it's our away form. It always is.
What's our away form compared with our home form's gone off the boil, wasn't it?
In our last 11 away games now, we've won 6 out of 11. That's all right. It's our own form, son. Fucking nosedive. What? You look at it.
Okay.
Huddersfield,
first half of the season.
Huddersfield, we lost. We drew against Luton. You draw against
but we
West
struggle.
Brom, which, going away from home and getting a draw at West Brom's not bad, as long as you back it up by beating Huddersfield and you beat Hull. But it automatically looks
our
worse
first
with
half
the
of the
results that
season,
we've now
what
got.
was it?
I think Hull did the double over us,
I
didn't
think
they?
so.
But isn't that Jim? Because we can't break teams down. We don't have the players to break teams down. We have a squad and players that will soak up pressure and then hit on the break, which is an away format, isn't it? At the end of the day, it's not a way you can play at home. You've got to take the game to the opponent, and we don't do that terribly well.
We don't.
Sorry, for the game against Preston, we should be set up like that anyway because Preston have got to come and beat us. That's the setup.
I mean,
I think he has to start Eze against Preston. I've been listening in, yeah. Well, Oliver Burke is just a glorified clothes horse who I couldn't believe we actually even bothered to sign because he had half a good game last season when he was with us, and I think he's had half a good game today where he should have scored, but instead he rattled the bar.
The underside of the bar.
He just flatters to deceive. I agree with everything that was said. We should be playing Eze above Oliver Burke, to be quite honest. I don't want Burke at the club. He's on too much money. His bird posts silly pictures of him wearing silly clothes because of the desire to be famous and because she wants to keep herself in the public eye. That is everything that Millwall doesn't stand for. Yeah.
No, we don't. We don't. I agree. I agree.
Yeah, but he's holding a good young player back. Yeah, and I just wonder if it's actually Rowett in a sense of he isn't adventurous, is he?
Well, he's not adventurous naturally. No.
Start Eze would be a bit of an edgy thing, wouldn't it? I think he has to start against Preston. He came on today, as 2 or 3 people have said, he looked the best player on the pitch, and he quite often does in that 5 or 10 minutes. So let's see what he's got. It's sink or swim time. Yeah,
absolutely. David and Thomas, I'm going to come to you both. You're both new callers. Appreciate your time, boys. Would you start SA David against Preston? Would you put him into it?
He's 17. I know that you're good enough. It doesn't matter what your age is. I probably would start him, actually, because I think it'd get the crowd going. And I think we need the crowd to be definitely on our side against Preston. And therefore, bringing somebody like getting SA to start would probably get the crowd going. And that atmosphere, I think, will help us a lot. I don't think it's beyond. I mean, I think we've got to look at the next 2 games. We're home at Preston, home against Birmingham. I don't think it's beyond impossible that we get 6 points. I don't see why we shouldn't. I appreciate we haven't scored anything in open play for 5 games. That's a bit worrying. But on the other hand, this is Millwall, and we always do the thing that everyone expects us not to do.
Not to do. That's right. Yeah.
And suddenly things can change very quickly. We get the rub of the green against Preston. We go 1 or 2-0 up. The crowd gets, really, really up for it, and things can really change. And as somebody said, we are still 5th. I mean, God knows how we're 5th, but we are still 5th.
And shit.
The gods,
we are,
the gods of football smiling upon us, I think. Well, the results weren't brilliant, but they've kind of kept us
absolutely.
in the frame
and the truth is that we are in a position that, as somebody earlier on said, at the beginning of the season, I would have been amazed to be in this position given what was going on. But I'm still optimistic. I've no idea why. Like Stephen, I've been following Millwall for over 60 years. I should know better. I don't, but I still feel that it's that sort of season. As for Neil's point about the fact that if we got to the Premier League, it would be a fraud. Couldn't agree more. I mean, that would be within a lot. That would be beyond embarrassing. I mean, I don't know.
Record
Derby
points,
11 points, didn't they, in their Premier League? I think we would struggle to get 11 points with this lot. We really...
one step at a time.
David, David, you said about we've got 2 home games that we can win. We absolutely can. Our 2 away games are at Wigan and are at Blackpool.
Yeah.
Now, they're never, forget that we blew it today, there will never be a better opportunity than this. Ever.
David's befuddled with optimism after 60 years. I'm befuddled after about 52 years of optimism. I'm going to go up to Wigan. I've never been to Wigan.
I went there when we lost 1-0 in the last part.
Yeah, I couldn't make it, but I've never been, chap. So I'm going to make it one of my my bucket lists. I've got to go to Wigan.
They were our bogey team for that, early 2000s, and fucking we had a windscreen final. We got a playoff semi-final 1-0 on our handball. And we're fucking going to play them again, and they've got a chance to fuck us up and get into the Premier League. What a fucking brilliant scenario.
Let's bring in Thomas. Thomas, are you still on the line, mate? Because you've hung on. I was going to come back to you. I do apologise. Was there anything else you wanted to say about today, Preston, or any whether you'd start SA, all that kind of stuff?
SA, do you know what? If I will row it, what we got? 5 games left.
5, yeah.
I'll just say to SA, he's what, 17, 18?
Yep.
Go have some fun, boy.
He's a class player. I mean, I don't know if you saw it today, but some of his moments, some of his moves are fantastic.
Yeah. He'll have absolutely no fear.
Fantastic.
He'll just go and have some fun and just see what happens. We've got 2 choices, haven't we? We either go up or we don't. End of.
Yes, that's true. Yeah, that's true.
So why not let him, the last 5 games of the season, just let him go and have some fun and see what happens.
I keep forgetting.
Yeah,
I keep forgetting that if we get to the playoffs, we've still got to actually play the playoffs. Don't get up by 50.
Yeah, we've got to get through this. There's a semi-final and a final to get through.
Just 2 small semi-finals to deal with. No problem at all.
I'm gonna close our conversation just to repeat that today we were genuinely unlucky in equal measure with genuinely incompetent at times. But the moments where we played well did give me some measure of hope that there's something in this side. I think that we looked a bit creaky down the middle. Hutchinson looked creaky. I thought Mitchell looked creaky. But when we got flowing towards the latter part of the first half and then towards the manic part of the second half, towards the end, I thought we actually looked like we could do something. We were passing the ball really nicely towards the end of the first half, and it's so disappointing not to have pressed on in the second half. Now, whether that's a mindset thing, whether they're tired, I don't know. But there is still hope. While the patient is alive, gentlemen, there is still hope.
And I think SA and Fleming will just have fun. That's what I want to see. Them 2 having fun.
Yeah, Fleming needs to find some form to start off with. I think he's been most disappointing in the last.
He's too good not to come back. He's too good not to come back.
Gentlemen, it's been a very emotional call. Thank you very much. Raw in the aftermath of that 1-0 loss up there at the it's not called the KC Stadium anymore. It's whole MGM or something. So thank you all for taking part. I really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Achtung, Millwall.
So there we have it, dear listeners. Difficult to try and keep your spirits up in the wake of that highly disappointing loss. I think we've covered that reasonably well during the course of the conversation. I just wanted to finish the show by acknowledging and thanking the Mill fans that travelled up to Hull City. I'm just looking through the Twitter posts today, pictures, people posting in the rain, driving up there. Looks like a coach, this Minty Neil 5 a.m. coach start to go to Hull today. I think it was about 900 made the journey up there. It wasn't easy. I looked at it today. I was going to go, didn't go, thankfully. Watched it on the telly instead. But trains are a mare, absolute mare to get up to Hull today on a bank holiday. So I just wanted to doff my cap to the 900 odd that made the journey up to the stadium. Using up your bank holiday Monday to watch was at times in equal measure poor, incompetent, and actually not bad on some occasions, which is a very Millwall cocktail, dear listeners, isn't it? Picked up a few posts just to finish the show today from Twitter. Block 10 CBL says he's in the hospitality suite next Saturday at home to Preston, which is now a huge game. He says the players best have their earplugs on or be ready for some home truths if they don't perform. Tony Monday criticising players for not taking their chances. I think Tony, just to summarise his post this afternoon, has put the result down to players not taking opportunities. I think I've got to agree with you, Tony. I mean, there's a number of opportunities. Looking at the notes that are made, especially towards the latter part of the first half, we were actually not playing badly at that point, as I've already said in the conversation. And that chance by Burke that hits the underside of the crossbar on another day goes in the net, and maybe then we're in a different ball game. But it didn't, and this is where we're at. Henshaw Bill says that he thinks we're going to slip down to 10th without a whimper. Small squad, tiredness, but Rowett with exactly the same approach as the last 3 games is a joke. Doesn't he want it? Asks Henshaw. Andrew MFC can't believe that he's saying this, but it's shit or bust. Shit or bust. Do or die. Shit or bust. On Saturday. Maybe that'll do us a favour, says Andrew. I kind of know what you mean, Andy. I think that we don't play our best unless it's, backs to the wall stuff. I think that's something nestles deep in the Mill's psyche. As he puts it, we simply have to win the games now. Nothing else would do. Maybe that's what we need. DV criticising Gary Rowett, who says has turned us into a solid championship team. He grants him, but he's tactically clueless. It's been a painful 3 years with him in charge. Don't know, DV. I mean, I think the first point that you're making there is outweighs the second, really. I mean, he's got us to this position by using the players that he has available. I think the main point of contention is obviously the use or non-use, perhaps, of Romain Esse. That's going to be what may or may not settle the season. We'll see. And me, says 4 games without a goal is unacceptable. Not getting in a goal scorer last January will bite us on the arse. Can't limp into the playoffs. And finally, I'm going to leave it there because I think we've said all these things many times over now, listeners. Merv Payne says the committee responsible for choosing Mill's goal of the month has been laid off till next season. I'll make you right there, Merv. All in all, it's not been a happy bank holiday Monday. I'm looking forward to Preston North End. Don't know. Are you looking forward to it, dear listeners? It's do or die time. Nowhere to go after this. The number of games available to us now rapidly reduces after Saturday. 5 games to go. There we are. Till the next edition. Thank you for listening to this show, listeners. Until the next edition of Achtung Millwall, it's goodbye from me, Nick Hart. Thank you to everyone that took part in today's show. Until the next one, bye for now.
Achtung, Millwall.